Hello everyone. The trial within a trial of Senzo Meyiwa murder trial is continuing at the Pretoria High Court. Advocate Mgomezulu is grilling Brigadier Geninda about the warning statements that were allegedly made by accused number 1, Musika Ukalelo Spia, and accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi.
Ntanzi charged and was he brought to court? Was that docket registered with the Vosloorus police station?
Advocate Mgomezulu said that when accused number 2 was arrested, J50 was not executed on the case of Nongoma. The witness said yes, there was no J50, but on June 16, Bongani was arrested because of Nongoma case. Mgomezulu requested to have copies of the docket. Judge Rata asked if Bongani appeared in court in respect of that docket. Geninda said no. Judge Rata Mokgwatleng, who's presiding over the matter, said he won't allow copies to be circulated and the matter is not finalized. Mogane is busy with the matter. Advocate Mgomezulu got instruction from his client that in the docket that is mentioned by Geninda, only 2 people were accused and the matter has been finalized. Geninda said yes, the matter in KwaZulu-Natal has been finalized. Mgomezulu asked the outcome of the case. Geninda said it was guilty verdict for murder back in 2018. The advocate then said since accused number 2 was arrested on the 16th of June 2020, what steps they took or making arrangements to take the accused to Nongoma courts. The witness said Sergeant Mogane was dealing with the case and the suspect was in Northwest and there was other cases in Phokeng that would have been a mess to take him to Nongoma. Advocate Mgomezulu said his concern is that accused was arrested in June 16, 2020 and it's now 2024. The accused has never appeared in court. Geninda said the matter was not enrolled. Advocate Mshololo made an objection and said there's evidence that was led in court regarding the same docket. Now the reference is made to the same docket and the witness is testifying on the content of that document and she's making a submission that as defense lawyers they are entitled to see the docket. Even Mogane at some stage made a reference to the docket and asked the court that the docket must be disclosed to the defense. Judge Rata said he doesn't have a problem with that. He already told Mgomezulu that he can have the docket and further warned the defense lawyers not to show their clients. They then adjourned. After adjournment, there was a dispute or rather confusion about the dockets that were promised to be shared with the defense. State Prosecutor Advocate Baloyi said the defense was requesting to have copies. The court made it clear that they were only allowed to see them, not to make copies. Advocate Mgomezulu said after adjournment, they went to Baloyi's office to fetch the copies. It only came in the morning that there was a dispute, but yesterday there were no issues. Judge Rata said he never said copies because last time they showed their clients and he'll only allow dockets to be read in the court. Mgomezulu told the court that the state is always introducing new documents in a trial within a trial case. This is an ambush. Why the state now reluctant to furnish them with those documents? Judge Rata said no one is reluctant here. They will read those documents in court. No copies will be given. Besides, Advocate Mgomezulu once acquired the documents where Sergeant Mogane didn't authorize it, and how he got them, it's a mystery. All the defense were given time to peruse the documents. Mgomezulu then asked how Ntanzi is linked to Nongoma case. The witness said that he is linked by a witness. There's a statement that links him into a number of issues that he allegedly participated unlawfully. Mgomezulu asked Geninda about Buthelezi on Nongoma case, the one who was sentenced to life, if he was arrested through J50, the warrant of arrest. Geninda said he wasn't dealing with the case, he's not sure. Mgomezulu said, but when they asked Mogane, he kept on saying that everything is with Geninda. He even failed to bring the docket to the court. And further said, who must we rely in terms of information? The witness said that's true, but he had difficulties in terms of accessing the document because the person who was investigating the case was not around. Mgomezulu then put it to Geninda that there's nothing at all that links Ntanzi on that case because he perused and read the document of Nongoma. Geninda said it does implicate him because the warning statement was taken and it has Ntanzi's name and what he committed. Advocate Mngomezulu said since the case was finalized in Pietermaritzburg Court, was there any separate application made since the case involved more than one person? The witness said that no, because there are a number of dockets that were in different provinces, proving that there were crimes committed. Mngomezulu then put it to the witness that there's only one statement on Nongoma case which mentions the names of Bongani Ntanzi, and that single statement is attached to 3 different dockets and it relates to the merits of Nongoma case. He's not sure whether he's made copies and attached it in 3 different dockets. That does not relate to other cases. It's only one statement that talks about someone that overheard something. The witness said he doesn't agree with that. Someone overheard, and the statement talks about many issues of murder, issues of hits in the taxi environment, issues of firearms, and in the warning statement, Ntanzi was questioned in different cases and the statement was done by one person. Judge Mokgatleng asked the statement to be read in court because there's confusion now. Geninda tried to convince the judge that there's other people who he can't mention and requested that he cannot read it. Judge Ratha said just read everything because they are both understanding it differently. Advocate Mnisi, who's representing accused number 3, objected for the statement to be read because of confidential information it has. Judge Ratha asked Mnisi what should they do because these 2 senior officers of the court are interpreting the statement different and he doesn't want secrets anymore. Then the statement was read. It was discovered in the statement that accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, is allegedly supplying the guns. A very quiet man. He's working together with Basuto nationals. They supply hitmen and other ammunitions. Very connected. Some of his cases are thrown out of court. He also mentioned that Buthelezi, who was sentenced in Nongoma case, that he bribes the SAPS and judiciary. Ntanzi owns AK-47 and he's also robbing ShopRites with Nkani Ntuli, accused number 5, that is represented by Advocate Mshololo. The English was so bad, Geninda couldn't read what was written properly, and there was also a man looking for a gun in a taxi rank. He then contacted Buthelezi and Ntanzi so that they can supply the gun. Ntanzi gave him this gun and he was given cash. Ntanzi also had 2 guns he used in Voslera's houses. The person also implicated all the accused that he used to stay with them in KwaZulu-Natal. Ntanzi also visited the guy several times and would come with guns. The guy that took a statement said that he realized Ntanzi was a changed man and they sold guns with Buthelezi. Ntanzi was selling guns basically. One time he visited Ntanzi and overheard him talking to Mapisa over the phone that they did a great job by killing a union member in Marikana. Mapisa must make sure Gwabeni pays the money because he doesn't want to be traced via banks. And he heard that they killed a big person. He then asked Ntanzi, "Are you killing people now?" Ntanzi replied and said, "It's a man's job, he needs money and wants to live a comfortable life," and said he would have small guns in his room. And also visited Osiga Ukalelwa Sibiya. And at that time he hit his girlfriend because of the killing of Senzo Meyiwa, and his father paid police to cancel the case and mentioned all the accused in the Senzo Meyiwa that were involved in killing of Senzo, and he was cornered by police and had no choice but to tell the police that he was a gun supplier, then confessed everything. Mngomezulu asked Geninda if he knows that the person who made the statement died back in 2022. The witness said yes, he knows. He was a witness in this case. He also spoke to him. And there's a statement with regards to Senzo's case. Mngomezulu then asked Geninda that according to the statement, especially in the murder, it talks about Marikana. There's no murder mentioned in Vosloo. Geninda said no, the statement said the man was involved in many killings, and as they peruse other dockets, the documents are more than 30 and he killed high-profile people. It's not baseless, it's the truth. Advocate Mngomezulu maintained that he wrongfully arrested Ntanzi and charged him with murder, and they had no other means to talk to him besides arresting him so that they can take the confession. The witness said he didn't arrest Ntanzi and he was arrested by Sergeant Mokhane. Mngomezulu said when he was arrested on the following day, he was interrogated by the case of Senzo Meyiwa, not about the Nongoma case. Gininda disputed that and said there's even a statement to prove what he's saying. Mngomezulu said he's failing to understand him. When he was arrested under the charge of murder, and they used Nongoma case to secure Ntanzi for the purpose of obtaining a confession on him. And was Ntanzi brought to court for Vosloorus case, the witness said that he doesn't know that case. Mngomezulu said Mokhane said it's a drug case, and he was instructed by Ntanzi that he was never arrested on that case and firstly heard about it by Mokhane and was never charged by this case. Judge Rata Mokgwatleng said no, that's not what he heard from Sergeant Mokhane. Mngomezulu said Ntanzi was taken to Vosloorus on the 19th. That was when Gininda called and told them to go to Moroka police station. Gininda said he disagrees with Mngomezulu because the suspect was arrested for this case. The advocate then further said that upon the confession, accused number 2 was assaulted, tubed, poured with water, electrocuted, and tortured prior to making a statement. Gininda asked if he says he was present. Mngomezulu said he didn't mention any name, he's just telling him what really transpired on that day. Gininda said that when he interviewed him on the 18th, there was no injuries on him and never complained to him, even on detention books. There's nowhere it said that he was assaulted. Advocate Mngomezulu continued and said that Ntanzi was assaulted on the 18th near the garage by Jonathan Mpumulo and Mabena in Albertine. The witness said he was never there. Mngomezulu said that there's AVL to prove that they stopped at Engine Garage. Gininda said he wasn't there. He wasn't able to confirm that. Baloyi objected Mngomezulu's question and it said that the assault took place on the 19th. Mngomezulu said there's no objection here. They omitted some information because Sergeant Mokhane initially denied having taken accused number 2 in the garage in the presence of Jonathan Mpumulo and Buthelezi. The SWAT also denied to be in the engine garage. Baloyi objected again and said the assault happened on the 19th and on the way to Moroka police station. Mngomezulu said that is definitely not true. They rely on their records. Mngomezulu mentioned at the time Ntanzi was taken on the 18th and brought back in the morning and said he was assaulted at that time. Gininda said he won't dispute that, especially about bookings, and said the information of the 18th was kept deliberately because there were issues. He didn't submit the 18th because they printed out all the days that they went with Ntanzi. Mngomezulu said Sergeant Mokhane admitted that they stopped at the engine garage and bought water. The witness said that he knew that their car had issues. That's why they had to stop, and SWAT came and assisted them. What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.